Hi, in this tutorial, we're going to be covering adding and subtracting polynomials. You'll learn how to understand the vocabulary used to describe polynomials, how to add and subtract polynomials, and how to graph equations defined by polynomials of degree 2. Now, a polynomial is a single term, or the sum of two or more terms, that contains variables with whole number exponents. Now here's an example of a polynomial. We have 7x cubed minus 9x squared plus 13x minus 6. Now a monomial is a polynomial with exactly one term. So here's an example of a monomial. Just 7x cubed. A binomial is a polynomial with exactly two terms. So here we have 7x cubed, which is one term, minus 9x cubed, which is the second term. A trinomial is a polynomial with exactly three terms. So here's an example of a trinomial. We have 7x cubed, which is our first term, minus 9x cubed, which is our second term, plus 13x, which is our third term. Now the degree of a polynomial is the highest power of all the terms. So here in this example of a polynomial, the highest exponent here is x cubed. So the degree of this polynomial is 3. It's just the highest power in the polynomial. Now the standard form of a polynomial is written in descending powers of the variable. So here notice that we write it with x cubed, x squared, and just x to the first power. So they're in descending powers. So let's do an example. What is the degree of the polynomial 2x raised to the fifth? And is the polynomial a monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Well, here in 2x to the fifth, our degree is just the exponent 5. And because it is just one term, that means it is a monomial. Now, what is the degree of the polynomial 6x cubed plus 5x? And is the polynomial a monomial, binomial, or trinomial? So all we do is look at the exponents, and we pick the one with the highest power. So here we have x cubed and x to the 1 power. So our degree is 3. And because we have one term, two terms, that means this is a binomial. Now, what is the degree of the polynomial 7x plus 4x squared minus 5? And is the polynomial a monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Well, we have 7x plus 4x squared minus 5. And remember, all we do is look at the exponent. So here we have 1, and here we have 2. So that means our degree is 2. And because we have one term here, a second term here, and a third term here, that means that this is a trinomial because it has 3 terms. Now here's how to add polynomials. All you're going to do is add the like terms. So let's do an example. Let's add 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 7x plus negative 9x cubed plus x squared plus 6x. So we can just rearrange the like terms. So here we have 6x cubed plus negative 9x cubed plus 5x squared plus x squared plus negative 7x plus 6x. So 6x cubed minus 9x cubed is negative 3x cubed plus 5x squared plus x squared is 6x squared plus negative 7x plus 6x is negative x. We can simplify this as negative 3x cubed plus 6x squared minus x. Now the additive inverse or opposite of a polynomial is that polynomial with the sign of every coefficient changed. So here is an example of the additive inverse or opposite of a polynomial. On this side we have 4x squared minus 6x minus 7, and its additive inverse is the opposite of that. So we have, instead of having 4x squared, we now have negative 4x squared. Instead of having negative 6x, we now have positive 6x. And instead of having negative 7, we have positive 7. So here's how to subtract two polynomials. You're going to add the first polynomial and the opposite of the polynomial being subtracted. So let's do an example. Let's subtract 5y cubed minus 9y squared minus 4 minus 3y cubed minus 12y squared minus 5. So we can just rewrite this. And then here we can distribute the negative sign. So here we have plus 3y cubed, and instead of having negative 12y squared, we now have positive 12y squared. And instead of having negative 5, we now have positive 5. So now we can combine our like terms. We have 5y cubed plus 3y cubed plus negative y squared plus 12y squared plus negative 4 plus 5. So 5y cubed plus 3y cubed is 8y cubed plus negative y squared plus 12y squared is 3y squared plus negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So that's our polynomial. Now, the graphs of polynomials of degree 2 have a bowl or inverted bowl shape and can be obtained using the point plotting method. So here's how to graph polynomials of degree 2 using the point plotting method. First, you're going to find several ordered pairs that are solutions of the equation. You're going to plot these ordered pairs as points in the rectangular coordinate system, and then you're going to connect the points with a smooth curve. So let's do an example. Let's graph y equals x squared minus 1. So all we're going to do is find points. So if x is negative 2, what would y be? If x is negative 2, we get 4 minus 1 is 3. Now if x is negative 1, we have negative 1 squared, which is 1. Minus 1, we get 0. And then what if x is 0? 0 squared is 0 minus 1. So y is minus 1. Now, if x is 1, 1 squared is 1, minus 1 is 0. And then what if x was 2? X was 2, 2 squared is 4, minus 1 is 3. So now let's graph this. We have negative 2, 3. We have negative 1, 0. We have 0, negative 1. We have 1, 0. Then we have 2, 3. So now we're just going to go ahead and connect this with a smooth line. So that's our graph of y equals x squared minus 1. So in this tutorial, you learned how to understand the vocabulary used to describe polynomials, how to add and subtract polynomials, and how to graph equations defined by polynomials of degree 2. Now try and solve problems in the Adding and Subtracting Polynomials workbook. For more help, sign up for online tutoring. And in the next tutorial, we're going to talk about multiplying polynomials. Thank you.